Hi, this is Ajay Anand and welcome to Social Science classes from excelup.com. In this video, you will learn about popular struggles and popular movement. You will learn about mobilization and organizations, about the pressure groups, about movements, and about influence of pressure groups on the politics and political parties. Let us first try to understand the difference between political parties and pressure groups. A political party is an organization which resorts to direct participation in democratic process. So in order to do so, the political party contests elections and its prime aim is to form the government. Pressure groups, on the other hand, they indirectly participate in the democratic process and they do not contest elections because they don't aim to form the government. Pressure groups, they primarily raise the topics of importance for the general public and for some small groups of the society. Some of the pressure groups, they may carry on popular movements also. There are two types of pressure groups. One is called the sectional interest group and another is called the public interest group. A pressure group which promotes the interest of a particular section of the society is called the sectional interest group. So their perspective is somewhat narrow. Examples of sectional interest groups are trade unions, lawyers unions, doctors unions, teachers union, etc. A pressure group which promotes the collective good of the larger public is called the public interest groups. The examples are trade unions, students unions, army men. You may be wondering that the trade union has been given as example of both the types. So there can be many types of trade unions. So let us take two examples. One is the CDA, that is Chemists and Druggists Association, and another is ASSOCHAM, the Association of Chamber of Commerce. The CDA, it will raise the demand of medicine retailers, medicine wholesalers only. But the ASSOCHAM, it brings almost all the big business organization in its umbrella. So there can be medicine sellers, there will be grocery sellers, there can be e-commerce sellers, there can be cloth merchants. All of them, they come under the ASSOCHAM. So in comparison to the CDA, ASSOCHAM, it raises the demands of a larger group of public, a much larger general public, and that is why we can put trade unions as example of both the types. Okay. Now, how do pressure groups and movements influence politics? They can do so in many ways. One of them is by increasing public sympathy, by organizing protest activities, and by lobbying. So public awareness and public sympathy, it can be increased by various methods like campaigns. The campaigns can be in print media or on television. It can be online campaign. There can be poster campaigns. They organize meetings. They file petitions. They also influence social media. When these methods, they appear to be failing to create much of the desired decibel level, then the pressure groups and movement, they resort to strikes and disruptions also, so that the government, it can hear their demands. Pressure groups, they appoint professional lobbyists also in the corridors of power, so that those lobbyists, they can liaison with the government officials and ministers in order to have some favorable policy decisions. Pressure groups also participate in official bodies and committees. So for example, members of ASSOCHAM and NASSCOM or FICCI, they participate in committees on finance affairs or trade affairs, so that they can influence the decision making bodies like bureaucrats and ministers. Okay, and that is how the pressure groups, they try to, and they often succeed in influencing the politics. Let us try to understand the influence of pressure groups on political parties. Most of the pressure groups or movements have no direct relationship with political parties, but most of the trade unions or student unions, they are directly affiliated to political parties. So we can take example of ABVP, that is Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, AISA, that is All India Student Association, BMK BMS Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, BMK Bharatiya Mazdoor Kisan Union, or INTAC, the trade union. So these are associated directly with many one or the other political parties. Some of the movements they have given birth to political parties also in the past. So there are many examples like DMK and AIA-DMK. These two political parties, they came into origin as a result of the Dravidian movement which took place in 1950s in South India. Then the Assam Gan Parishad, that is AGP, this party was born out of students movement which took place in Assam in the 1980s against the outsiders' influence on the Assamese economy. Then the Aam Aadmi Party, it came into being because of the RTI movement and India Against Corruption movement. So that is how the pressure group has historically been influencing the political parties in our country. Let us now do some critical analysis on the pressure groups. So there are many arguments. Some of them are against the pressure groups, some of them are for the pressure groups. So let us take the arguments which are against the pressure groups. So one argument says that pressure groups, they work for the cause of a small section of the society. So their perspective is quite narrow, and so we should always observe caution while looking at pressure groups. Pressure groups are not answerable to people. Unlike political parties, they don't need to win election. They don't have the fear of losing an election. So they cannot be held responsible by the general public. Some of the pressure groups, they can be sponsored by international agencies also, and many international agencies, they have their own political or socio-economic agenda. So such pressure groups, they need to be sorted out, and they should look with some caution. Now the arguments which are in favor of pressure groups, they say that there is always a need to create pressure on the government, because sometimes or more often than not, the government does not listen, and then the pressure groups, they come into action so that the government can listen. Then the pressure groups, they help in deepening of democracy. They help in spreading the idea of democracy to a larger section of the society. Pressure groups also awaken political parties, because political parties, what happens in their pursuit of power, sometimes the political parties, they compromise on certain issues, and then the pressure groups, they come into action to awaken these political parties. Pressure groups do not have political ideologies, so they strike a balance between different political ideologies. So these arguments are for the pressure groups. So we have to weigh the pros and cons while looking at pressure groups, but in general, pressure groups, they are beneficial for the politics and for the society. So to recapitulate, I talked about the types of pressure group, I talked about the difference between political parties and pressure group, I talked about the influence of pressure groups on politics and political parties of India. That's all for this lesson. Thank you.